Today, you won't believe this. You're about to witness two different interviews at all time. One to talk about it is from the Michael Saylor's company. I mean, the Bitcoin Beast. I call him Bitcoin Beast. It's from the Michael Saylor. It's a company that is called Stretch. All right, the Stretch or the strategy company. All right. He said something here, and even he explained what exactly the Stretch is about. And once again, we'll be heading towards to Tom Lee, one of the most trending topic or the billionaire we all know. His company talks or buy he millions of what of dollars of what of Ethereum. So we are comparing both BTC and then Ethereum here to look at what is inflowing, what is really going on. If you're new to our channel, do us a favor, smash on the like button, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, that each time we drop news you'll be the first to get notice of. Let's listen to Michael Saylor, the great one, of course, posted by Bitcoin historian. He says Michael Saylor's strategy just raised enough money to buy over 4,500 Bitcoin this week. Yes, this week I'm talking about. That is about 30,000. That is about $300 million. All right, worth of Bitcoin. That is in dollars. So understand it. Stretch supply shocks here, everyone. So let's listen to what Michael Saylor explained it.
We've gone around the world talking to companies about buying Bitcoin. Well, what I've concluded is that Bitcoin for corporations is Stretch. Like if you go to most companies with hundreds of millions of dollars of capital and working capital, it's probably easier for them and better for them to buy Stretch than it is to buy Bitcoin. It's very difficult for them to convince the board of directors that they should buy a 40-vol asset with no cash flows, that they have to mark to market every quarter because it might screw with their P&L. But on the other hand, convincing the board of directors that they should actually collect 2 or 4 times more cash flow and not have volatility, that's easier. It's like, instead of you taking 100 million and buying Bitcoin and getting on the roller coaster, just give me the 100 million. I will accept all the risk. I will accept the roller coaster. I'll over collateralize it. I will give you the 10 or 11% yield back. I'll solve the tax problem. And I promise not to sell the Bitcoin. And so we're in the business of not selling Bitcoin. We got very good at it. We have a PhD in hodling, And so I figure, why don't we just hodl for the thousands of companies instead of try to convince everybody else to do what we're doing and convince their shareholders and their board of directors?
So as you can see here, he's talking about it. That's what I think he has explained it well. 11% of it, and then you no need to buy it. You are free to buy it. He gives him the money. He assures you of 11% interest as it is. Make sure that everything is done. He buys Bitcoin. He doesn't sell it. All right. And if anything, as it is, he will be able to provide you with what the capital as he invested. Let's rush and listen to Tom Lee. This news was posted by Altcoin Daily not long ago. He said Tom Lee explains why on March 19, 2026, the Ethereum bottom is likely in and why Ethereum price will skyrocket going forward. 19th March 2026. I think we've crossed that, but this news I think is really, really important. See, Ethereum is minoring the S&P 500 in 2011 and 1986. Here is the explanation for everything here. Let's listen to what he says here.
Bitmine works with an advisor named Tom DeMark. He's a legendary market timer, and he's provided an analysis to us that says Ethereum in the last few months, especially since October, is really mirroring what happened to the S&P 500 in 2011 and what happened to the S&P 500 in 1987. If you were involved in U.S. markets, both times marked major declines in the S&P. Well, according to him, there's a 93% correlation to what Ethereum is doing today to what the S&P did in 1987. And in 1987, if you apply that same forecast, Ethereum would have bottomed on March 7th. And if we're correlating this to the 2011 episode, Ethereum is bottoming today. So using his analysis, we think we're at the bottom or exiting the crypto winter now. And another way to think of it is this measure called realized price. It's very popular with doing the same math for Bitcoin, but we're doing it for Ethereum. Realized price is looking at the blockchain and looking at the average purchase price of Ethereum. So currently on the Ethereum blockchain, the average purchase price is $2,241 for Ethereum. And if we look at the two most recent lows in 2022 and last year, Ethereum traded at a 39% discount to the realized price in 2022 and a 21% discount in 2025. In other words, your average position was in a loss of 21%. Currently, we're at 22%. So we're at the level where in 2025, Ethereum started to turn higher. And finally, before you lose any hope, keep in mind over the last 10 years, okay, Ethereum has outperformed every other asset class over the past decade. So in the last 10 years, Ethereum's return is 49,000%. That means almost 490 times your money. Is 49,000%. That means almost 490 times your money. Bitcoin was 11,000%, which is great. That's 100 times your money. But look, even something like Nvidia, which has been, of course, the single best stock in the U.S., it only returns 65 times your money. So, and finally, before you lose any hope, keep in mind over the last 10 years, okay, Ethereum has outperformed every other asset class over the past decade. So Ethereum's return is 49,000%. That means almost 490 times your money. Bitcoin was 11,000%, which is great. That's 100 times your money. But look, even something like Nvidia, which has been, of course, the single best stock in the U.S., it only returns 65 times your money. So again, Ethereum has been a great store value, and again, we think we're at the end of the crypto winter.
So as you can see here, clearly it says everything. Comparing Bitcoin, as Michael Saylor said it, and again that is stretch their company trying to buy Bitcoin to keep. And again, Ethereum saying they have been able to surpass about 49,000% of growth, meaning which is 49,000% of 490% of any amount you invested in the first day, meaning they are really growing massively than any of the crypto really going Bitcoin and Solana or all these things, the blockchain that we talk about. So thank you. I know that you got something here and it really will profit you to make some best decisions for yourself. Thank you. This is Crypto Lord Nathan. See you in the upcoming videos. Bye for now.